This is Machuka Nyarieko TV talk show where we analyze socio-economic, politics and governance issue with an aim of informing and giving ideas to our clients so that they can have a variety of ideas to make use when they are encountered with some issues. And today I will briefly look at the issues that are surrounding our Kenyan members of parliament, more especially the fact that they can do anything with impunity and they get away with it. But today I will want to show that the members of parliament, even the members of county assembly, are likely to be under fire because of the ruling that was put before the judges Kanyi Kimondo, Chacha Mwita and George Odunga on whether those regulations that have been put in the Election Act on guiding on how the members of National Assembly as well as the members of County Assembly should be recalled. Before we proceed on our discussions on how members of County Assembly and National Assembly are under fire, kindly, if you are watching this channel for the first time, subscribe so that whenever we produce another video, YouTube will automatically notify you. And for our resident subscribers, thank you, continue watching and share as much as you can to various groups so that we can keep on moving forward. Back to our topic. It's now easier for the members of the public to recall their representatives. Initially, members of County Assembly and members of National Assembly had to pass stringent laws that provided a situation that was next to impossible to remove them from power. It is just similar to those laws that govern the Constitution. However, much of those laws that the members of the National Assembly passed to protect them are against the Constitution, according to George Odunga, Chacha Mwita and Kanyi Kimondo. Last week, you saw a number of members of the public writing SMS to their members of parliament to advise them on how to vote during the passing of the Finance Bill 2024-2025. Now it is going to be more worse if the members of parliament will not respect their citizens. And that's why I'm saying that this time around, members of parliament are likely to face hostility from the members of the public. Remember, at least in every society, we at least have members who are from the civil society and who can organize the entire community to recall you back. So before I show how it has been made easier for the members of the public to recall you back, I would like to emphasize that Article 1 of the Kenyan Constitution provides that members, all the sovereignty and the power belongs to the people of Kenya and shall be exercised through the according to the Constitution. And according to the Constitution, the preceding articles indicates that the judiciary, legislature, and the executive, even including the counties, have been assigned these powers of the members of the public. Article 38 provides for political rights of citizens, whereby it provides that every citizen is free to make political choices, to participate, for example, in formation of political parties, and to make his choices. Therefore, anything that will prevent members of the citizens from making anything that will interfere with their political choices, freedom is null and void. And this is whereby Chacha Mwita, George Odunga, and Kanyi Kimondo based their argument and agreed with the Katiba Institute, making the members, our representatives, very vulnerable. Some of these areas that have been making the members of parliament to enjoy the immunity is the laws that they passed, that is election laws that they passed, that if you want to recall your member of parliament, you must collect signatures from at least a half of the registered members of that given area. A half, that is 50%. It's not something simple to collect. Even if your member of parliament decides that he will go to parliament and become a truant. A truant is a person who has gone to parliament but has never stepped there. He will either go there technically to be seen. And we have heard from history that there are some members of parliament who don't go to parliament, even they have testified by themselves. We don't go to parliament. So now the citizens of such a constituencies have got their powers back, have got their sovereign back through the courts of the court ruling, the High Court ruling of George Odunga, Chacha Mwita, and Kanyi Kimondo. Now, it's not about 50% of the total number of registered voters. That is unconstitutional because it is meant to deter members of the public from their freedom of choice. I don't think there is any good explanation as to why your member of parliament is not attending the parliamentary proceedings, and then for you to recall him back, you need 50% of the registered voters. What rationale is being used for that? Your member of parliament is not attending to the constituents. He has never been seen in the constituents. It does not pick calls from the constituents members. And then the rules tells you that clause that has been nullified, has been described by the judges as null and void, that you need 50% of registered voters to call an MP who has respected the sovereign people who have donated their powers to him. Another point that puts them into a more risk situation, more especially in the coming finance bill. Now, if even election losers have been given the opportunity to petition or to recall their members of parliament or members of county assembly, unlike before. Now even your opponent, if you don't perform, is going to recall you, and there will be by-election. All that is needed before the court is evidence, just evidence, tangible evidence that our member of parliament has been messing around with our public resources. Initially, they had passed laws that for them to be removed from the office, you have to they have to have violated Chapter 6 of the Constitution or mismanaged public resources. That's where they had to hide. And as those who understand about Chapter 6 of the Constitution, is a fallacy. It is like the Bible, something that you can not just explain. You cannot explain about the morality of a person, and you are an individual. You are from the same background. You are a sinner. Is a sinner. And you want to explain using Chapter 6 that this person is doing wrong. So Chapter 6 is the most confusing chapter in all the chapters that we have around our Constitution. So that's where they were hiding, because it is very difficult to describe how he has violated Chapter 6 of the Constitution and how he has managed funds. And of course, after you have the issue of funds mismanagement, then you have to look for about the 50%, and that you don't have to be a member of or a ruler of the previous election. So there was those impediments that made it very difficult, stringent measures that made it very difficult for one to recall his or her MP or member of a county assembly or parliament. Another issue that was thrown away into dust by the court and that had been imposed by the our institutions is that you must go to court. That once you have realized there is an issue, there is mismanagement of funds, you must go to court. There has to be a case. There has to be court proceedings before you start collecting signatures. This one has also been shown the dustbin, and therefore now one can start collecting the signatures before going to court. Once you have seen there have been maybe violation of that Chapter 6 of the Constitution and the mismanagement of public resources and many other things, violation of the Constitution needs a day to be explained, or to to touch on areas in which the Constitution can be, Chapter 6 can be violated. Chapter 6 requirements of the Constitution can be violated. Therefore, we have many things before us. We have many things before us. We have the finance bill. We have other motions that are unfriendly to citizens. I think the best way is that before even you dream of recalling your member of parliament or a member county assembly, it's always good that you are advising as a constituency that this is our stand on this given idea. Like now, Arama, a member of parliament for Nakuru West, I think, said that his people, his constituency members had advised him not to vote for the finance bill. That means if he votes for the finance bill, the members of his constituents can initiate the process even of removing him or of recalling him even before going to court, because of that simple article. The Elections Act is contravening the Constitution and most fundamentally on fundamental human rights, on political choices, human rights. And human rights is all about our life, and that's why that was entrenched in the Constitution, so as to protect the weak in the society. And our legislatures became Machiavelli, who says that any law that does not support you, destroy it. So they destroyed our Constitution by providing some provisions that were to favor them to continue staying in power and even ruling forever. So it's my humble advice to our members of county assembly, MCAs, members of National Assembly, that now things are difficult for you, just perform as your constituency advises you, because they never, constituency members, they don't direct you because you are so smart in development. No, they don't consider how much development you have done, but how you have treated them. Thank you so much.